Hello, in this video, you will see how to create, modify, and group address and service objects. As we saw earlier, security zones are very important for the firewall. Other objects that are also very important for building any type of configuration in the firewall are address objects. An address object is a name that we give to these objects. For example, server, an assigned zone, an object always has to be in an assigned zone and then a type of object. We have 5 types of objects, which are host, range, network, FDN or MAC objects. And based on what we select, the form will ask us for one thing or another. In the case of a host, we will have to put an IP address. Any. If we create a range object, we are going to change the name here. We will have to create a range of IP addresses. 20, for example, from 1010 to 100,1020. In the case that we create a network type object, we will have to call it serverland. It's just an example. For example, 1216810. And here we will have to put the net mask. The net mask can be 255, 255, 2550 or easier /24. We save and we can create an FQDN object. Here it asks us for a host name. In this case, if we want the firewall to resolve it, it has to or will try to resolve it through the interface that we tell it. Therefore, if it is an object that is in the one, which is an FQDN object, here we can put Google period, sorry. Here we can put Google, for example, google.es, and here we are going to call it Google. We save and the firewall will try to resolve this name through the one interface. And the last object we have is the MAC object, for which we have to create or enter a MAC address. For example, the MAC address of the interface from which I am administering the firewall. Obviously with the correct format. And we save it. Okay, saved. Okay, in the object view, as in many other parts of the firewall, as you will see, we can apply filters, we can see the default objects in the firewall, we can see the custom ones that we have created. Here we have ours, we can see those that are IPv4, IPv6 or both. And in this case, here we see the server object with the definition and for example Google. Well, there we have how it has solved it, and in the case of the MAC address it happens exactly the same. Within the objects we can also create groups of objects. And in this case, just like in the case of the objects, many are already predefined. Here the same thing happens, but we can create the groups however we want. For example, object group 1, and here we have the easily selectable one. We can also see only the hosts. The MACs, and this is a multi-select. We can select several. We save. And there it is. If we want to search for it in an easy way, we go to custom and here we have my group, which obviously does not make any sense, but simply so that you can see how a group is generated. All the creation of objects or groups of objects does not affect the firewall at all. We are not using them anywhere, so they are simply there to be called later. Another type of objects that we have are service objects. Many service objects come predefined. For example, DHCP67, we have DNS, we have BSHARE, BGP, Azure, we have FTP, we have ECO. We can create in the same way as for objects that we want to create. For example, Service 88 when we define the protocol, whether it is UDP, TCP or any of those that you see here. And in the case that it is 88, we must enter it. And enter the port range. If it is not a port range, but a fixed one, we enter the same object twice. In the same way, we can filter by searching for customs. Only one appears. If we see them all, it is as easy as writing 88 here and we see that any that have this 888 appear. Well, here appears this object that is also exactly the same as the address objects. We can group them. Little to say, there are already groups or groupings made here. Both address objects and service objects are essential to generate the firewall policies that we will see later. And that's it for the video. As always, I hope you found it useful. You can write comments or questions in the YouTube box. Thanks.